Okay, I had forgotten to adjust the title and categories there, but here we are. Ready and on Twitch. And we're going to be playing Pillars of Eternity with all the DLC and everything as well. But let's go ahead and jump right in. There we go. Alright, so we'd left our rogue behind because now that we have this guy, Kana, the chanter, we don't need the rogue. A high perception, his dex is low, but that's not important. High perception and high mechanics are what we need. He can easily increase his mechanics.
No problem.
You might be wondering why I'm not going to investigate below the keep right away. There's some powerful things down there. I remember that. Okay, let's head out. Let's see. Right. Everything we have is, in fact, for this city here. So, let's go ahead and go to the Woodland Plains. Pretty sure this is where we get another character as well.
Lava beyond sea. Lava beyond sea.
Is down. Durance is down.
Lava beyond.
Also, I need to adjust the game volume. Here we go. That should help. Yep, it's staying in the green now.
Fight on, my friends! Roaxen! Brave thou Philogeles.
Okay. Wait. Yeah, this is... Let's move you here then. And you here. You here. Why did that one go away?
Brave thou Philogeles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey. Aye?
What? Yes? Brave thou Philogeles.
La
Arctic word.
Okay, here we go. We have a person over here. Oh no.
Away, brave thou Philogeles. Away,
Okay.
Anna.
We might be able to do this.
Roaxen. Brave thou Philogeles.
We did it. Okay, we have a hatchet.
Sure.
Light, flame, and sound. We'll keep to ourselves.
We're very close to a level up. Let's go ahead and rest, though. Okay. Sorry about that. We have another very well hidden Kickstarter character. Interesting. Okay. Oh. Primordial. Random primordial. Not good.
Lavaru, beyond seek!
Sacre Thu!
Okay. Oh, you!
Hush, Itumak.
A dwarven woman dressed in skins and hides leans against a wooden road marker. Her face is turned down, her eyes darkened by a thick stripe of face paint. She's sharpening a bone arrowhead with a scrimshaw-handled knife. Her attention, however, is focused on a bear figurine between her feet. A large, white-furred fox stands at her side and looks up at you as you approach, or looks up at your approach.
Easy, Itumak. It's not him.
Who are you looking for? Let's go with two. She lifts her head and looks at you. No argument there. It's just it's not you I'm looking for. Who are you waiting for?
Short version? I'm looking for a very, very old friend. I'm not sure what skin he's wearing now, but I'll know him when I see him.
Your friend is supposed to meet you here?
That's what I heard. Of course, the man who told me so was carrying a staff he claimed was made from dragon bone, but I know Whitewood when I see it. That should have been my first clue, but I had to try something.
Back up. What does this stranger have to do with your friend?
The long version. Here we go. I'm from an island to the far south called Nasitak. I came here looking for a village elder, a man we knew as Persog. I'm a hunter back home, so tracking someone wouldn't normally be a problem. but Persoc's trail is cold, to say the least.
Why couldn't you find him? He died when I was still a young girl. I forgot to mention that part, did I? I'm looking for his latest reincarnation, which could be anyone. How long have you been looking? Her painted brow lowers, and her compact, muscular frame sags for just a moment. 5 years. So you've been searching 5 years for a stranger who could, you barely remember, who could be anyone now.
That about sums it up.
Actually, I know how you feel.
Then you have my sympathies. Hopefully you've got a better lead than I do.
How does the statuette figure into it? She dusts the figurine on her trousers, raises it in her small, flat palm. It's carved in the shape of a bear, smooth and round. The polished Aedra is worn to a dull mat along its arched back and ovid haunches. A soft glow emanates from within.
Cute, isn't it? It belonged to Persoc. Before he returned to the wheel, he left a splinter of his soul in it. Something to help us find him later.
As she holds it out to you, you feel wisps of sensation. Not quite memories, but traces of someone.
When I left Nasitak, it was completely dark inside. But as I've gotten closer to Persoc, it's glowed steadily brighter. Since I've reached the Deerwood, however, it's gotten hard to read. Some days it flickers and goes dark. Others it shines nice and bright, for a few hours. But most of the time it looks just like this. I could take a look at it. I've heard that one before. Whole reason I'm standing here is because some so-called watcher from Forkvale told me he could take a look. For a few golden dukes, of course. I was on my way out of the Balmarsh when I heard talk of a traveling mystic who could supposedly see souls. I knew it was a long shot, but what did I have to lose? I went to see this fellow and gave him the Audra figurine. He made a big show of moaning and rolling his eyes, and after I'd given him 5 golden dukes to lift the shroud, he told me to seek the crossroads in the field between the Wolf's Lair and the twining trees.
What's the Wolf's Lair? Defiance Bay. Locals call the current Duke Wolfgren. Sounds like he'd be fun to drink with. Is the Twining Trees a real place? He meant Twin Elms. I haven't been there yet, but I hear they have some especially memorable trees. Go on.
He thought he was being vague. I know the area well enough to recognize that he meant this place. Right between Defiance Bay and Twin Elms. I had a bad taste in my mouth, but my coin was spent and I'd already left an arrow in his knapsack as a friendly warning. Told him I'd come back and leave him with another if it turned out he was giving me the runaround. I've been here a week now. Guess he had the last laugh after all. Why? You expect me to believe that? After the story I just told you?
You've got nothing to lose by letting me try.
Fine. But if you try to run, just remember that my arrows are faster.
You raise the Aedra bear, turning it in the light as her eyes catch a tiny, glinting scratch. The scenery around you melts away. You're standing on a cliff overlooking the water, seeing through eyes that aren't your own. You catch the musk of beasts amid the fresh scent of vegetation, and your heart beats a little faster. You'll have to look, or you'll have to watch your step up here. You look down just long enough to see the sharp, pale cliffs drop into the water hundreds of feet below. See a vision of cliffs over high water. Does that sound familiar? Your question is greeted with shrug and silence.
What are you talking about? What just happened?
I told you I'm a watcher. She blinks at you a few times, calculating. If you'd seen the way she stares at dead things, you'd know she's serious.
You realize I've got no coin to give you, even if I did believe you.
Come with me. I've got other business in the area, and we could look for Persock on the way.
And if this is your idea of a joke, you may be stuck with me for a while. Lead the way.
She draws up beside you, her fox following at her heels, and takes a seat next to you.
Even if you are putting one over on me, it's nice to have a hunting party again.
Sounds like you've been gone from home for a long time.
5 years for me. Must be 30-something for Ichimok.
Hearing its name, the fox looks up. That must be exhausting.
It's been a long hunt. A long time away from my family. Before, I'd crossed the tundra of Nasitok following caribou herds. I didn't want to leave Kalu and our children, but I was eager to visit lands my people rarely do. But 5 years without finding him. It's like 2 hours of necking. I'm ready to be done with it.
Why do you have to find him?
Soul recovery is an old village tradition. We call it the Tarnek Ilitsak. Once in a generation, we seek the soul of a much respected and long dead village elder. We tell him what's changed in the village, how people remember him. The only other Tarnek Ilitsak during my lifetime happened when I was a girl, not long after Persock died. We feasted on blubber and fermented milk for a week, and we honored the chosen huntress as a hero. Then she left, and we returned to our duties. We still sang her name to the skies during festival season, but we otherwise didn't speak of her.
What happened to her? I don't think she ever returned. It happens that way sometimes. She folds her arm, expression sober. I'm sure your village still remembers you. You're kind to say so. But I'm not so fragile that I need my name chanted in the meeting halls.
It's not being forgotten by my village that troubles me. But sometimes I wonder how my husband and children remember me. If they think of me often.
That must be difficult.
Still, there's no point in dwelling on it. More often I find myself wondering whether Persock will remember us. You claim to see souls. What do you think? Do you remember your past lives?
Yes, in fragments. She leans a hair's breadth closer. Really, what's it like? It's strange. Feels like I'm going crazy most of the time. She sits back. I don't envy you. Guess I'm lucky. I only have to worry about someone else's past life.
Makes me wonder what Persock remembers about our village. Or if a turn at the wheel has yanked the details out of his mind like it does for most of us.
Has your village changed much since this time?
Masuk is probably much the same as it was 100 years ago. We live between tundra and frozen forests, and the land takes as much as it gives. But our hardships bring us together. And the elders truly unite us. They keep the stories of past generations, and they guide us from season to season, through good years and lean.
The fox brushes up against her hip, and she scratches his head. Recently, there's been a lot of good years. My aunts say we've had a few clashes with the neighboring villages thanks to the hunting territories that Persock helped establish. In bad years, we rely on trade with the merchants that pass our shores. We exchange walrus tusks and seal pelts for grains that last us in the hard winters. Persock brokered a lot of those agreements too. She holds up the bear figure. He got this from one of the Amaua ships that used to trade with us. Sounds like he did a lot for your people.
That's what I'm supposed to remind him.
Sounds like you've been on the hunt of your own, though. You feeling the thrill of the chase, or ready for this to be over? It's too early to tell. Fair enough. She rises and stretches, looking around. We've got darkness on our side. Shall we move on? Hey, and she is an archer and comes with a fox. Because she is a ranger. More of the creators, Kickstarters, and stuff like that. I heard a boar.
Lavaru, be on seek!
Right, I need to go to you and set your AI.
Lavaru, be on seek!
Okay, here we go. Forest Lurker is defeated. We do not get any experience for that, though. As the downside to the bestiary experience situation. It is not perfect, it will not be perfect, and the flaws are strong in this one. But it does keep you from over-leveling too early.
Brave thou Philoth Nearly.
Dead on!
Roacten! Brave thou Philoth Nearly. If thou be not believed.
Move!
Good, he's back there. As he should be.
Roak 10.
Okay. Okay. Last area on this map. Okay, we can go there now, but we're not going to. We need to go to this side. All right. And into the city. Copper Lane.
Defiance Bay. The city at the heart of the Deerwoods Revolution now seems on the brink of another. Refugees line the streets, homeless and hungry, displaced by White One's legacy, hoping for relief within the city walls, and finding none. Dissidents congregate to protest and to heckle, calling for an end to animancy and the ouster of their duke. The city's militiamen cast fearful looks as they patrol the streets, their hands trembling at the hilts of their weapons. The capital of a country that had not long ago incinerated a god now appears to be a spark away from sharing the deity's fate.
So, in a nutshell, things are not looking good for them. And, well, in the middle of that, we have a grand conspiracy of some kind.
Those walls surround the whole city?
What is it? I'm looking for the Temple of Boudica. If you say so. It's in the First Fires, just west of Crucible Keep.
Greetings.
Rowan's arms are crossed. His mouth is set in a grim frown as he watches the gathered protesters. He looks ready for a fight. New in town, eh? You've picked an interesting time to visit Defiance Bay. All these refugees fleeing the frontier and finding the legacy no better here. The legacy's no better here. It's the Animancers. Mogren scorched them. And they nest in this city like rats. You mark my words, though. Dozens of us are going to put a stop to it. Or us dozens are going to put a stop to it. Tell me about the Dozens. We're an organization of interested civilians or citizens who want to free Defiance Bay from the dangerous influence of Animancers and the tyranny of the aristocrats who support them. We also consider ourselves a militia of sort, seeing as the Crucible Knights are little more than a flock of preening nobles in training these days. Just like a militia, the Dozens, except for the training and the discipline and the code of honor. Size gleam, and we're always looking to expand. The more people see things our way, the better the state of the country. If you have any interest in hearing more, stop by Admeth's Den sometime. The Expedition Hall? The Expedition Hall. A lot of free thinkers in there. Can set straight all the nonsense the nobles and the Animancers want you to believe. Might even be some paid work in there for your motivated types. What are you doing out here, though? He gestures to the crowd, which buzz with angry chatter, trying to get folk to see reason. We're in the midst of a crisis, and instead of purging the nefarious forces from our city, the Duke is granting Animancers dangerous liberties. What do you know about Animancy? It's the study and manipulation of the essence, which any sane person will tell you is the purview of the gods. The Adrians, at least, had the sense to outlaw it, which is the only good thing you can say about them. It's not like magic, chanting, or the soul readings those ciphers do. It's been around since ancient Nguathan times, which is why you'll see Animancers tinkering with old Nguathan artifacts. Kenna raises a fist to cough discreetly into it. Half-truths all, but he's an enthusiastic performer, I'll give him that. He shakes his head. Trouble is, the Animancers got no idea what half those artifacts actually do. Not that they'll admit it. Our empathic friend is correct about one thing at least. Farewell. Well, we have information. We know where the temple is. A young boy watches the passers-by and counts a grimy handful of coins. His face and arms are smudged with dirt, but except for the grass stains, his clothes are in good condition. As you approach, he blinks and makes quick, furtive effort to pocket his coins. "Hey, miss, want to know a secret?" He wipes his nose with his sleeve. "I know a real good secret." Looks like we got a little hustler here. Someone raised this kid right. Really? What is it? He shrugs and claps his hands behind his back, kicking a loose pebble. "I just saw folks hiding some really neat things. I can show you where, but Mom and Dad told me not to talk to strangers." His eyes slowly look up at you. "But maybe you could help me with something. Then we wouldn't be strangers." "Help you with what?" Gordy's voice suddenly raises in pitch and tempo. "The Crucible Knights have those daggers made out of March steel. It's the best steel around, except for Durgan steel, which doesn't count because no one makes it anymore." He stops long enough to catch his breath. "Anyway, there's this merchant over by the Expedition Hall, and he has a dagger made of real March steel. His eyes grow large and round. He said he wouldn't sell it to me because I'm a kid, and kids don't know anything about daggers. But that's not true. I know a lot about daggers. I know about the different kinds of steel. I know how the Crucible Knights made them in a forge. I know that the tip can pierce low-grade steel or low-gauge steel armor, and that one that's good and sharp can cut through bone. See, I know plenty about daggers, and I really, really want this one. If you could get it for me, I promise I'll never ask anyone anything ever again." "March steel. This lad has good taste. I only ever had little shark stickers as a child, mostly for oysters. Still managed to poke a hole through my palm once." Give a kid a weapon. Considering Doomer Bella's backstory and origins, I say, yeah, give a kid a weapon. Gordy jumps up and down, whooping and hollering. "I knew a real adventurer would understand." He points to a large building. "There's a big merchant over there in Admithsden who sells weapons. He's the one with the dagger. I'll be right here for you." I wonder if that... Hey, I get clever. big guy.
Hail and well met.
First, let's sell some stuff. I have 5,000 gold. I could do some enchanting. Oh. Well, this is interesting. A helmet with +2 intellect. After all, intellect is important for area of effect, duration, and will saves.
Let's go!
No, no, no! I accidentally bumped the wrong button. That was not what I wanted to do. Wait, also we had a level up? Alright. Bonus to damage, as long as endurance slow. Brute force is... brute force.
No problem.
Defiance Bay. If ever there was a dry field in need of a cleansing flame, you have found it.
Good day to you.
Okay. And then over by the catacombs is where we pick up that quest. Okay, so actually, let's talk to the Skinflint. Oh, yeah, it's just one of those. Okay. That's one thing with not being able to use WASD. Hang on, I'm going to need to... Okay, I need to take a screenshot. I have a friend with the same name. Alright, it's over here.
The dozens.
Shakes
Pretty
his
sure you
head.
won't find one among them who stood within 100 miles of that bridge when the Godhammer went off. Too bad, too. Said there'd be less of them.
Why do they call themselves the Dozens? Most 12 Deerwoodens stood outside Hallgut Citadel waiting for Waidwin to cross the bridge there. They had to hold him there long enough for the Godhammer to detonate, so that's what they did. The Godhammer. That's what they called the bomb they blew up Waidwin with. Don't know much about it other than that. Anything kills a living god, guess you gotta name it. What do you have against them? Nothing serious. Nothing I don't have against a lot of folk anyway. The Dozens, they like to take things into their own hands. Gets ugly sometimes. We don't have them in Gilded Vale, but they'd be right at home there. They picked that name so they could do what they wanted and feel like it was right. Got nothing to do with honor or sacrifice. They like to invoke Margaret too, when they especially want to feel right. Somehow, I don't think she'd be too impressed with that lot. I'm sure she'd like to set him on fire anytime they use her name, but the gods probably got rules against that kind of thing. People hide behind symbols so they can't be questioned. The Duke's a reasonable man. Maybe while we're in Defiance Bay we can get him to force people to call themselves what they are. Don't imagine they'd have as many members if they called themselves the loudmouth sheepfuck. I'm not. Let's continue on. Good idea. Hello. A row. Do you need my attention? Okay, just a moment.
Welcome.
Okay, one moment while I go and give my dog some attention. He requires it. Hi, baby. Hi. I'm right here. I am here. It is okay. Hi. I'm streaming right now, and you know that. But you needed reassurance that I am here, that I am still here, that I am with you, I am right here, I have not left you. No, I have not. Okay. I have reassured my dog.
Gods keep you.
Good day, stranger.
Seal of Faith. Oh. Well, that would be interesting. Telda's Ring is for wizards. Okay, Oh, wait. I can't afford either of them. But these are ones to keep in mind. Very much so.
Gods keep you.
Okay, what's so special about that? Oh, she operates the expedition hall. He jerks his thumb over her shoulder. She sells the best equipment in the city, but Waidwin keeps her on a short leash. Keeps her fine inventory reserved for chartered expeditionists, members of the dozens, and anyone else he takes a liking to. I'm looking for a particular dagger made of March steel. Just like the Crucible Knights use? Let me guess, you've been talking to that kid, right? He laughs and shakes his head. I'd be tempted to sell it to you anyways, and let the little rascal learn his lesson. But a pack of adventurers already took it off my hands. If March steel daggers are only given to Crucible Knights, how did you get your hands on one? He pauses mid-polish, his cloth slowing over the blade. A lot of steel passes through my hands, friend. I don't make it my business to ask where it comes from. I'm not trying to get you in trouble, but you should be careful. Yeah. He grunts. I appreciate the concern, but there's no need to worry. I keep my nose clean enough. About those adventurers. Folk like that only visit Copper Lane when to crew up at Adamant's Den Expedition Hall. Or down a pint at the Goose and Fox. And since they weren't headed for the den, well, you've got my best guess. Well, alright, so the Western will be done in a bit. I want to increase security, but at the same time, maybe we should increase fame a little. No, they're about even. These two. I'll do these two next. Okay. There are houses and stuff, but let's go ahead and go to the first fires and start continuing the story. Actually, there was loot. More of the Kickstarter characters. Someone's feeding ducks. You're not a Kickstarter character. An elderly man paces back and forth, taking short, hobbled steps. His gaze is distant, and beneath it are dark rings of many restless nights. He appears to be having a conversation with someone who isn't there. And the way you fought, cutting down two at a time, we shared quite a victory, you and I. Who are you talking to? He looks up at you, startled. Oh, by the flame. For just a moment, I thought I heard her. He puts a hand on his chest, catching his breath. What troubles you? Just the memories of my youth and the Northwatch Rangers. Trials and adventures from a lifetime ago. He shakes his head. Of late, the memory of lost battles and fallen friends has been especially vivid. Tell me about these memories. It's been nearly 60 years. We were known throughout Deerwood then. We thought we'd adventure together forever, collecting coppers and inspiring songs. The wrinkles around his eyes deepen. That was until we faced Helig of Thien. He was a wizard whose experiments in necromancy left a raw trail of bodies. Some reanimated. From Solace Vale to Midwood, we tracked him as he fled towards the Valian republics, catching him just west of the Lake of Drowned Tombs. We were fools. Seasoned as we were not prepared for his foul magic. Our numbers were nothing against his power. A wiser man would have ordered a retreat. Not me. By some curse of the gods, I was knocked out, and when I awoke, my rangers, my Rowena, were all dead. He holds empty air in his arms. And you hear this woman's voice. I know this sounds like an old man's madness, but I hear her. Her voice just over my shoulder, calling to me in my dreams, At night, I see her wandering the catacombs beneath the city, trying to escape. Foolish as it sounds, I can't shake the idea that she's somehow down there, waiting for me. I've even ventured below, though it damned near cost me my life. He hesitates. Were I half the warrior I was in my youth, I'd search every grave and rat hole. As it is, I'm stuck with this feeble body, and the agonizing notion that my love is somehow down there beyond my help. I'll search the catacombs for any sign of her. Tears spring up in the old man's eyes. There's an entrance just southeast or west of here, on the other side of the canal. He sniffles, wipes his eyes. You are truly a gift from the gods, if there's anything you can find of her. I have the feeling that Necromancer didn't just... Yeah. That's my thoughts on the matter. Let's go ahead and investigate the catacombs. That sounds interesting. And then probably next week we will be talking to some adventurers in a tavern. Oh. As you approach the dead man, you can feel faint traces of his soul lingering, a stunned uncertainty holding it in place. When you near, without warning, the soul hurries towards you, as though you were a solitary light in the dark gloom of this place. I say it's gloom, but gloom seems to fit as well. To usher it away, its essence invades your consciousness. You are in a different body now, walking deeper into the catacombs, cloaked in a dark robe with a mask pulled over your face. You are following a familiar path along the canal, heading to a room built around a statue of a figure wearing a robe much like yours. Others await, clothed in hoods and shadows. Ahead is another figure, dressed like you, traveling in the same direction. You don't know his name, and that's how it's supposed to be. Out of the darkness, something monstrous grabs the other figure. You turn to flee, but find yourself face to face with a troll. The panic pounding through your brain is interrupted by the razor-edged teeth and claws. You snap yourself out of the dead man's memory. The corpse lies on the ground, on the damp and grimy ground. His hood and mask are missing, and his clothes are now shredded. Sagani draws up next to you. You alright? Looked like you almost lost your footing for a minute. Feels that way when I see into the ether. She watches you quietly. You really are a watcher, aren't you? Once in a great many generations, one of my people was born with the ability to speak with souls. Usually, such individuals become elders, or a lone set of tracks in the snow. She cocks her head. I would have thought my journey would be easier if I could see what you see, but looking at you, I'm not so sure. Neither am I. Believe it or not, I once would have rejoiced to know I'd be picked to travel far in search of something great. But even these gifts come with a cost, don't they? Forgive me if I was a little skeptical of your abilities before. I can't say I've met a real watcher before. Oh, don't worry about her. She just looks doing that from time to time. Seems to cheer her up, so just let her. Once you've seen it a few times, the shock wears off. Every time she goes on a little strange in the face, I try to see if I can hear something. Kinda grins. It hasn't worked so far. See if you can get her to tell what the spirit said. So there are trolls in here. Oh, Lester Black Goose. Someone else leveled up. Ah, Durance did. Alright, with you, we're going to focus on lore 2. We will get you that priest ring eventually. Okay. Got a bit of loot from that. So, oh, and you leveled up. Okay, good, good, good. You also are a lore dump. We'll throw one in survival as well. Next. Crackling Bolt. And Fireball. Obviously, we're giving a wizard Fireball.
Brave thou Philoth dearly.
Let's go!
This is not good, this is not good.
Oh,
Full stuck up on us.
Brave thou Philoth dearly.
We're not taking a lot of damage though, so that's good. Alright, so it's a level 5, that's part of it. Also, we're getting experience from these, so that's... See? We got some more level ups. Alright, so you level up. Mechanics. Let's leave a trail of frost.
Brave thou Philoth dearly.
you leveled up now. That's right. I forgot about that. That's an encounter one. Also, let's go ahead and change your weapon back over to this one.
Yes?
First, let's go ahead and...
Let's see what lies
yeah, figures. Okay.
I'll take a look.
I'll see what I can find.
And what does the flame reveal?
I think I see something.
Aha. Trap. And... ooh. Torque of the Falcon's Eye. Now let's see, who can we do that to? Actually, perception is accuracy, reflex. Those are all important. So let's go back into inventory. So you have the exact same thing already. Let's give it to you.
I'll take a look.
Okay.
Brave thou Philotheles.
Let's go!
Alright, so let's see what we have here. We have Barbarian, highly destructive tank. We have Wizard. We have Tank. We have Cleric with Fire. We have Summoner with Gun. And we have Dwarf with Bow and Fox.
Time to see and not be seen.
Nope, we're not going down yet. We're going to explore the entirety of this floor first. Okay, let's pick up what they have dropped.
Let's.
Brave thou Philos Philis.
That wolf's taking all she can!
Oh no.
Ruach-tep. Brave thou Philos Philis.
Someone leveled up.
That's it!
Based on everything, it should be her that leveled up. Yep. And let's go ahead and level you up. We're going to give you stealth this time. No, accuracy is important. Giving both a significant bonus to defense. No, Stalker's Link. Yes. Okay, what are their injuries? Reflex, move speed.
I shall be quiet as a calm sea, which is not very quiet.
Ooh, pistol.
That wolf's taking all she can!
My eyes are peeled.
Oh no. Minor fatigue. Great. Okay. Will I be able to camp in here, though? That's a question.
Brave thou Philos Philis. What's this?
Oh no. Okay. Ro. Really? A lone figure in tattered robes shuffles across the chamber, muttering under his breath, or its breath. As you approach, the figure halts and swivels its head towards you. Its haggard visage, a labyrinth of wrinkles and sores, overgrown by a moss-like beard. What's this? Who's disturbing Helig's work? Its voice rattles and gurgles like that of a drowning man. You're Helg? Dalton sent me to look for Rowena. He leans back and bursts into raucous laughter. His threadbare robes drift apart, revealing an amulet and a ragged wound running from chest to throat. It sputters of black, viscous fluid on the floor with every cackle. That old fool is still alive. I do hope he still doesn't bear a grudge for that incident. It was so very long ago. He believes she's in the catacombs. He seems to restrain another bout of cackling. Oh, you could say that. If you were to retrieve my grimoire from Modred, I'll let you in on a secret. And what if I beat the secret out of you? He smirks. Good try, but you'll end up dead. What do you need me to do? When animancy started getting popular, I came to Defiance Bay in hopes of finding a place where my research would meet with more acceptance. Worked at the Brackenbury Sanatorium for a few months when I met Modred. He spits a glob of black blood on the floor. Let's just say Modred and I didn't see eye to eye. Got so bad we were threatening to kill each other on a daily basis. Obviously, the bastard made good with his threat. He runs a jagged fingernail across his oozing wound, sank a dagger into my chest while I was sleeping, and dumped my body in the catacombs. Marker, what is wrong? What is wrong? Tell me. I think my dog wants out early. And I don't want another accident on my hands, so I'm going to go ahead and let him. So I will be right back. Just a moment. Okay, I am back. Sorry about that. So you used animancy to save yourself. Oh, no, he waves a half-rotting hand. This is magic, and it took a great deal of rather timely preparation, I must say. Even so, it merely anchored my soul to this decaying husk. Nothing like the life that was stolen from me. And yet, you see what little Ingwathan magic can do. And yet you see what a little Ingwathan magic can do. My mind is my own, my memory is fresh, and my work can continue. And Moedred keeps all that is precious to him in a trunk in his laboratory, just as he stole my grimoire. He offers you a key with a clawed-like hand. On your way to Brackenberry Sanatorium, then, bring me back my grimoire and my revenge, and you shall have your Rowena. What are those creatures behind you? Just a few personal projects. Sorry souls stuck in their mortal shells. Their flesh is as dead as mine, though their minds are not as well maintained. They flock to me like worms to drakes. They're not half as intelligent, but watch as one stumble into a desk. They serve for amusement. What are you doing down here? Research a hodgepodge of animancy and necromancy. I have peace and quiet, as well as an abundance supply of subjects. I'm gonna have to ask that guy about him. But, well, I'm pretty sure that his beloved is an undead currently. A small Orlean man appears to have pulled together some crates and scraps of cloth to make a rather sorry-looking camp. The thin fur on his limbs is matted and his clothing smeared with blackening grime. He looks startled as you enter, his eyes widening in alarm.
Gods keep you.
After a moment, however, he smiles weakly. Hello there. Wasn't expecting any visitors down in these parts. He glances around the dim-lit room. What are you doing down here? He grimaces. I've been a little down on my luck lately. Don't have anywhere to stay, so I thought I'd come down here. Nobody pokes around in the catacombs much. Not until you, anyway. There are a lot less dangerous places to live as meager a life. You're hiding from something or someone. He looks around the dingy chamber and nods slowly, his expression pained. Yeah, I guess that's plain enough to see. He sighs heavily. Very well. It's true. I've been hiding from the knights down here. But it's not what you think, he ducks his head. It was an accident. It's been hard for me here in Defiance Bay. I suppose I thought if I got involved in city business, if I made the right friends, it would be easier in time. And it did. Really. I made a name for myself. A place. People actually listened to me when I talked. Well, they used to. People can get very passionate about these things. We were discussing, I think it was shipping agreements, all the things to fight over. But this one night, this man, he got very angry. I think maybe he'd had a little too much at the end. And I guess he didn't think like an Orlan talk. I guess he didn't like an Orlan talking back to him. I struck him. He came towards me, and I hit him. And he went over like a tree. I guess he struck his head on the way down. He lowers his gaze and shrugs helplessly. Turns out he was a knight. The Crucible Knights won't care how it happened. They just want me gone. They won't let me live long enough to see the rope. Please, he looks at you with pleading expression. I just want to get out of this city. The second I can get the money for passage, I won't trouble anyone again. I swear it. I'll live quietly, but you can't, please, you can't tell them I'm here. Here, take 300 and get out of here. He stares at you in disbelief, but this is... His face twists as he struggles for words. They said you were a kind soul, but I wouldn't have imagined. This will see me out of the city, and well away. I'm not sure I could ever thank you enough, but here, take this. I hope it's of some use to you on your journey. You have my lasting gratitude, friend. I should get ready. Crit multiplier versus dexterity. Honestly, dexterity isn't so needed for him, but it would be more useful for her. A crit multiplier. Oh, action speed. Okay, we can rest here. Good, good, good.
You know, there are accounts of Watchers in all of the regions I've visited. If the adventuring life doesn't work out for you, you could always read souls for coin, give people advice, tell them which family they're related to, and whom they should duel for past offenses.
I'll keep that in mind. Probably safer than fighting off beasts, he chuckles. And you get just as much drama out of it.
I can do that.
Yes, you can.
As requested. Leif thou Filathili.
Lava will be on seek. That's it.
Moe X Roak 10. Brave Dalfilat.
Let's go!
There we go. Okay. And we got all of it.
Got it. Let's go!
Brave Dalfilat believe.
Lava will be on seek.
Fine scale armor. We do have the completed thing on the keep. Okay, the barracks or the barricade were completed. Oh, that's interesting. Alright, so we'll build both the walls. We'll see if we can build anything that can provide money to the keep. And then we'll get to the hirelings, because they actually drain money.
Brave Dalfilat believe.
Lava will be on seek.
Roak 10. Brave Dalfilat believe.
Lava will be on seek.
Why is the wizard in melee?
Not too alarming, but I'm
Roak 10. Brave Dalfilat believe.
this thing isn't doing the job.
Roak.
Okay, he's not weak to crush. And you are wielding the sword. Deal slash and pierce. Your weapon is dealing slashing, piercing, and crushing.
Brave Dalfilat believe.
Someone leveled up, I think. Or it was a healing spell. Probably the healing spell, honestly.
Boys, go up 10. Brave thou Phelon.
Let's go!
And we rest because Wizard has an intelligence damage.
Brave thou
Lavaru beyond seek.
Thing isn't doing the job.
Okay, find scepter.
Brave thou Phelon Theoline.
Lavaru beyond seek.
It's because you have melee spells, that's what it is.
Brave thou Phelon Theoline.
I'm gonna change up your spells. You're not allowed to have melee spells from now on. Okay. But we've gotten everything we needed down here for now, so let's actually just go up. And I'm gonna go check on my dog real quick. Okay, he does not want to come in the house, and he does not want to stop trying to eat grass for whatever reason. Well, that is a dog for you.
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
Why are you all the way back there? Okay. Now they're all together. I keep going to WASD and you're not supposed to use WASD.
Adair, you have said you fought in the Saints' War, but for which side?
The one that blew up my god.
I didn't mean anything by it. I imagine a man with a head made of fire and light could be very convincing.
Funny thing about Dear Woodens. With all that fire and light, they just treated him like another authority figure.
Okay. Let's go ahead and head to the next part for the main story. Alright, so where we're looking for is I think it's here. There are a couple of nobles.
All these circling feet heading nowhere.
there's the temple. Okay.
Is this the old church you were looking for?
Praise to the exiled queen. May her crown be restored and her justice prevail. Come to pay your respects to the queen that was.
A ghost hovers in the middle of the ruins, reciting blessings and prayers, even as the spirit's form shifts and swirls. It retains the face of an elderly man in robes that mark wealth and status. It turns to you. I was told I could find the Temple of Wodica here.
And so you did. These savage colonists may have burned it down, but worship of the Oathbinder is alive and well. These stairs lead to the main sanctum.
Stairs?
These stairs, of course. The sanctum was always below ground, adjacent to the catacombs, so it wasn't destroyed by the fires. There are various entrances throughout Defiance Bay, but I dare say the easiest to reach is in Copper Lane. I haven't been to that part of town in ages, but as I recall, it's somewhere near the southern gate.
It's truly a pity to see what the locals have done to Wodica's house of worship. I'd like to know more about Wodica.
A queen among the gods. She oversees laws and oaths. Everything has a rightful place, and Wodica watches over them all. Of course, not everyone accepts this. Even among the other gods, her authority is questioned. But Wodica is also goddess of memory and vengeance, and she remembers. She'll remember every slight and trespass when she reclaims her throne.
You know you're a ghost, right?
I beg your pardon? Is this some sort of joke where you come from?
I'm serious. Just look at yourself.
A madhouse. That's what this town really needs.
What are you doing?
Worshipping Wodica, the exiled queen and Oathbinder. I come every day to offer my devotion. I'd love nothing more than to book passage back to Adia, but it is my Emperor's wish that I serve in these barbaric lands. And so I do. Lord Ardwellen Rugform III, and pleased to make your acquaintance. I came to the Deerwood on one of the first ships from Adia, and unlike the yokels and hut dwellers around here, I still keep to the old ways.
Goodbye. I'm going to... Okay, there's probably nothing. Yeah, there's nothing. I'm going to try and unlock the rest of the areas real quick. And I think I'm going to go ahead and call it here and have everything ready for the whole...
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
middle of the night release of the Switch 2. That's going to be a busy time for me. Sanitarium, Fremont Manor.
Hail, traveler.
What are you busy with? She snaps her book shut. I'm studying soul attachment. We all know that souls move into people at birth and out of them at death, but we haven't a lot of questions about what makes them stick, so to speak. What do you mean about what making them stick? She brushes a stray lock from her forehead. Souls power the body and give their tissues life, but only when they're firmly attached. It's separation that leads to a whole spat of soul-related ailments, including the hollow burn. But if we understood how to reattach souls, we could end Waidwin's legacy, maybe even conquer death. She scratches behind her ear. That's the theory, anyway. Unfortunately, I don't have all the research I need to put into practice. What exactly do you need? There's a manuscript called The Theorems of Pandagram, and contains research from Pandagram's experiments on detached souls. The Hall of Revealed Mysteries is rumored to have a copy in the Elder Archives. Pandagram's work is considered to be one of the more daring animancy texts, not something generally circulated among novices, nor easy to get a hold of. I wonder if we might have a peek at it. The theorem could advance my research by leaps and bounds, but Grimda, the High Archivist, worships whale, which means she has some paradoxical views on sharing and restricting knowledge. And since she's not exactly a proponent of animancy, she tends to restrict the kinds of information that will be useful to me. That's a shame. Look at me, spilling my troubles. It's kind of you to listen, but I should really get back to my work. Anything else? Any new quest?
Your brother, did you and he get along?
We got along how brothers do. He used to throw water on me to wake me up in the morning. I used to fill his boots with stinging ants.
My own brothers and sisters are doing very well for themselves, back in Tekoa. I don't know that they'd search for me if I were killed so far from home.
Brothers can be funny. I bet you'd be surprised how far they'd go.
And here we go. Heritage Hall. Last of the areas around the city.
How do you do?
Sorry, but this district's closed by order of the Duke himself. How do I get inside, or what's going on in there? Both guards look at each other. Look, even if I were allowed to tell you, I don't rightly know. All I can say is, whatever it is, started about 2 months ago. The guards that closed the gate talked about something unnatural that still wakes them up in the middle of the night. I don't know any more than that. How do I get inside? Trust me, you don't want to. But if you really want, or if you're really set on seeing things for yourself, I suppose you'd need to get permission from Wayla at the keep and First Fires. Alright. Noted. This is, interestingly, a problem. Okay, Brackenberry Sanitarium. We're going to go ahead and see about this quest before anything else. Maybe we can get more information from that person about the whole situation. Morgan, was it? Alright, so that's just any animancer. Let's go downstairs from here.
Greetings.
Woman paces back and forth, her feet crunching on soft red carpet. She gestures and mumbles to herself, shaking her head as she pores over pages of notes. She almost walks into you. Here I am, looking so hard for answers in my research that I did not see a kith standing in front of me. What can I do? What do you do here? According to my research grant, I study awakenings. Sublimating pre-awakened souls has been one of Animancy's greatest successes, and I am working on a method to replicate the process on an awakened soul. She gnaws at her lip. But in truth, I find few suitable subjects here. White One's legacy has left plenty of awakened souls, but most are too broken for study. I fear I will return to Ravua with nothing to show for my efforts. I'm awakened. I've been recalling flashes of a past life. She scratches her chin. Most interesting, but not the kind of awakening I can study, I'm afraid. I need someone whose awakened soul can be triggered with predictable stimuli. Souls such as these tend to manifest as alternate personas in the host. She gives you a broad, if strange smile. But I thank you for the offer. Something else? It's a dynamic and respected field. Each of the incidents did little to slow it. She shrugs. People in the Republic are more accepting of risk, less superstitious, ready to try anything that shows promise. It's a shame so many people here are hostile to Animancy. It is, but such is the way of the Deerwood. The people here are fierce about their sovereignty, but they are not so independent from the Adrian brothers, and their Glenfathan neighbors as they would like to think. They rely too much on the mysterious workings of the gods and fear the very advances they need. Goodbye. You! An Animancer scribbles feverishly on his parchment scroll, while his free hand dances through the air, counting off unseen objects. His lips move in silent discourse. As your shadow falls over his scrolls, he looks up at you with mingled perplexity and irritation.
Hail, traveler.
Can I help you? Does the name Helgen mean anything to you? Helgen, is a colleague of mine. He was previously a necromancer, but he was involved in Animancy too. He worked in the sanitarium for several years. I dare say everyone here has heard of him. He clears his throat. He left his post recently. I believe he was seeking new opportunities in the Valian Republics. Leans forwards. The advances they're making in Animancy really are quite remarkable. Surely you've heard. He coughs again. Perhaps you haven't. Do you know the woman's name? No, I don't get out of the sanitarium much. About Helgen. I've heard differently. He slides the spectacles down his nose. What are you insinuating? This is your idea of a joke. I assure you it is in very poor taste. So you didn't sink a blade into his chest and dump him in the catacombs? He'll be relieved to hear that. How could... He sighs and runs a hand over his hair. Very well, yes, I killed him. I killed that beast because no one else had the spine for it. He was a madman. Years of perverse experimentations, twisting healthy souls, tormenting damaged souls. And for what? He flayed the essence from Glenfathan indigents for his amusement. He waves down the hall. If the public had known half of his deeds, they'd have razed this place to the ground. Jabs a finger on his desk. He used the sanitarium to disguise his own sick provocations. He brought shame on all of us and put the entire discipline at risk. I regret nothing. He calms down and sizes you up. Anyway, now you know the whole grisly story. His soul returned to his corpse, and through sinister magic, and he wants revenge. No doubt, he spreads his hands wide. But now you understand why I killed him. Why someone had to. If he sent you, I only hope I can convince you to return and slay him once and for all. He has something I need. Consider a deal with that monster? If what I've told you hasn't swayed you, I doubt anything will. I must return to my work. I wish you well.
Good day, stranger.
Hollowburn, who received a transplant to animal soul during infancy, one of Anamancy's early efforts to cure the legacy, if not a successful one. He removes his spectacles and wipes his brow. They show signs of developmental abnormalities throughout their childhood, but when they reach adolescence, they become aggressive, feral, but still victims in need of a cure. It seems like an odd solution. We Animancers were trying to do something about the crisis, better than letting it swallow a generation of children. He stares at a fixed point on the far wall, and despite the controversies, it only went so far because at first it seemed to work. People called it the Salvation. Children that had never been responsive to any kind of stimuli suddenly seemed aware of their surroundings, of their families. He takes a slow breath. The complications didn't begin until puberty, but that's when the incompatibilities between the body and soul take shape. Children become violent, ravenous, but we paid dearly for our mistake, I promise you. Angry mobs hunted down Animancers and burned down their homes, with them still inside often as not. People took to calling it the cruel Salvation, and many still loathe us for it. But we wanted to stop the legacy as much as anyone. The public begged for our help, and we did the best we could. I still don't know if that absolves us. Why do you study them? What kind of question is that? Just think of their families think of all the families that could be healed, the lives that could be restored. What could be more important? His face is reddened as he turns away from you for a moment. He shakes his head. Animancy has an answer here. I know it. It's simply a matter of working it out. I see. You said you stole a grimoire from him. His grimoire? What's that madman been telling you? He said you kept it in that trunk over there. He takes the key with a trembling hand, his eyes darting to the trunk behind you. You've been misled. There's no grimoire in here. And Helgen never intended for you to find one. The wretched thing has an insatiable hunger for blood. Thank you for denying him. I hope I can convince you now to return and slay him once and for all. I'll finish him. Good. I'm glad someone finally will. I must return to my work. I wish you well. Okay, so there's nothing else here, and we're going to end it here for today. I hope you all had a wonderful time. And I hope you are looking forward to Friday, where we're going to continue the main story in Final Fantasy XIV some more. Remember, there's no stream tomorrow because of the early release for the Switch 2. I'm going to be very tired. Well, at least not on the usual time. There may be something later on today. Stay tuned for it. And like I said, I will be seeing if I have enough energy later on in the day tomorrow to stream something. I hope you all enjoyed the time here. Make sure to drop a follow if you stuck around. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe down below. Hit the bell for notifications on both sites. And if you enjoyed my content, here's a playlist of some of the stuff I do. If you didn't, but you stuck around anyway, then this video over here, YouTube thinks you will like. Have a good one, everyone. Bye.